Live and in color from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, deep in the heart of Texas. It's Runway DFW, the new YouTube channel dedicated to bringing you live action from this, one of the world's busiest airports. And good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you may be in this wide, wide world. My name is Walt, and I'm here with you to bring you airplanes. We've been away from you for a few days because of the weather here. You can see it's kind of windy, but it's actually quite pleasant given the nature of what we've been through the last few days. So let's get right to seeing the airplanes land, shall we? And that, my friends, was American Flight 1215, an A321 coming in from Puerto Vallarta. A little windy today, you can hear it probably in the background. But I've got my dead cat on my lavalier microphone, so and you can see the wind is blowing I let go of the tripod and it just kind of blows everything around. We do have going out pretty soon will be American Flight 48 to Paris, a Dreamliner, and I don't know if that's going to go off That may take off on the other side of the airport. We'll have to see about that. So let's turn our attention now to this American Airlines Flight 221 coming in from Amsterdam, a Dreamliner. Here it comes. Into a jumbo there on one of our initial landings. Wheel in a Chair's commenting on our Flip Clock 79 technology. We sent it back to the lab. We improved it a little bit, I think. Changed up the colors a bit. Bill Caldham checking in from where'd it go? Southwest Arkansas. Good afternoon, Bill. And Luke is checking in from New Zealand, watching live. That is super. We're so glad to see all of you. West Texas lets us know that it's 47 degrees. It feels a little bit colder here because of the wind. Yeah, we've got a regional American Eagle taking off there. I was looking at messages, so I'm not sure where that one's going yet, but we'll let you know here in just a second. We have been offline here at Runway DFW for a couple of days because of the weather. You may have heard we had a little bit of weather here in Texas. Had some snow, had some ice. And where I live, things were kind of impassable. I live in a rural area, about 50 miles away from here. So I got done with my domestic chores today. I thought, well, let me see if I can get out to the airport for a little bit. So this won't be a very long stream, I don't think, but we'll be here till dark, I would guess. Donboy24 fan, hello from Quad Cities, Illinois. Well, you've got Quad Cities. We've only got two here, Dallas and Fort Worth. Well, actually, we've got more than that. It's very clear here this afternoon. Usually when the planes get that far away, we've got a lot of ground haze and fuzziness, but it's almost crystal clear today. All the better for our Runway DFW fans. Adam Serena is here from Australia. And yeah, we did have some bad weather, but all is well. I was watching Sid Squad last night from, what was it, the Gold Coast Airport, I think it was. Not very busy when I was watching, but it was entertaining nonetheless. They had a storm coming through. I was trying to see if there's any remnants of snow here. I don't see any. It's all pretty much melted in the daylight. Hello to you, Scott. Pleased to have you on board here at Runway DFW. I've been lax in identifying the aircraft. Here comes one from Eagle, Colorado. It's American Flight 571, an A319. I might have to put on my gloves. It's getting kind of, that wind is just making it feel a lot colder than it probably is. But we got down into the teens this week here in North Texas. Not a common thing for us to have to deal with. This is American Eagle Flight 5734, and I believe this is going to Midland. Yes. Making the big turn to go south on runway 18 left. We'd like to thank all the Runway DFW subscribers. We're inching our way towards 2,000 subscribers. We're in the good graces of YouTube now. So that's a big step on our way to becoming a part of the, well, I think we're already kind of part of the airport streaming community here on YouTube. And this flight for Midland is getting ready to zoom away. Hope the weather is good where you are. DFW Airport, because of our cold and ice and snow this week, the entire airport was shut down for at least several hours on Thursday. Then they managed to get one runway open. I was watching Flight Radar 24 that Thursday morning, and I know a lot of flights were canceled and a lot were diverted. I saw a couple of American flights coming in from Hawaii, and they were both diverted to Chicago. And you might think, well, why did they go so far away to Chicago? And I don't know for sure, but my guess was that that's a big hub for American, and there's a lot of people on those planes who are not necessarily going to Dallas-Fort Worth as their final destination. And so it might be easier for them to find alternate ways for those passengers to get where they're going. We are coming to you live from DFW Founders Plaza, which is a little park that the airport has set up here at the northwest side of the airport. We are on the west side of the DFW, and there are two north-south parallel runways which we are overlooking. That's primarily what we get to see. There are three north-south runways on the other side of the airport. Plus on each side there's a kind of a crosswind runway that is not used as often, but it's there if needed. So here is American Eagle Flight 3725, an Embraer 145, and this little guy is going to San Angelo in Texas. Scott's giving us props for the clock. Thank you, Scott. Our research team at Runway DFW Labs was working just this afternoon on that. Kind of want to give it the look of the old, I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember the departure boards and arrival boards at airports, and they had those same kind of flip, they were alphanumeric, and they could display destinations and times. So I kind of wanted to give it that look. So the passengers on this flight are eagerly awaiting their departure to San Angelo on a sunny Saturday afternoon. And we've only got about probably, what time is it now? I should look at the clock on the screen. I wasn't able to get it to 12-hour clock time, which most of us Americanos are familiar with, but I hope you can figure it out. It's coming up on 4. I think the sun set at this time of year is about 5:30, so we'll be here with you as long as our signal holds out for at least another hour and a half, I would say. Another American Eagle flight coming in from Aspen, Colorado. So it may be coming in just as this flight is taking off. And you can see in the background there's another American jet, or American Airlines jet. It's going over the bridge that separates the two sides of our airport for some activity on the east side. Finally, our San Angelo flight rolls down the runway. Wheels up. W Texas commenting on our zoom lens. It's kind of it's a prosumer lens, which is pretty common to most of the other a prosumer camera. It's a Panasonic, which I think some variation of this is used by most of the other broadcast or streamers that I know from that operate out of airports, and it's it's really good for daytime use. It's not that great for nighttime use, which I think you've seen some other channels delivering content from nighttime, which is incredible. But sometimes those cameras, the sensors in those cameras aren't designed to work continuously like a camcorder can, which is kind of what I have. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know that we'd have a good viewpoint for nighttime activities here, but we'll see. So we've got some planes moving around here. What have we here? Now this is an American special livery flight that I've not seen, a plane that I've not seen before. And the design of it doesn't look familiar to me. Let's see if I can pick it out here. not finding it on the radar. But yeah, I don't have any idea. You guys have any idea what that is? Let's see if I can pick out the N number. No. It's going over to the other side of the airport. Yeah, I thought I'd seen almost all of the special livery American flight aircraft, but not that one. Just crossing the bridge. Okay. That was it's the Reno Air Heritage Livery. Reno Air. So that's what I was looking at. Because it's one of those airlines that American had absorbed at some point. We've got British Airways Flight 193, a Dreamliner coming in from Heathrow. It's to be here in about 2 minutes. Let me see what side of the airport it's coming into. Looks like it's coming into the other side, the east side of the airport, so we might be able to get a look at it from afar. This is American Flight 9796, which is headed to San Diego. I'm going to divert from that one, catch the last moments of this British Airways flight. Oh no, that's a Delta flight, sorry. I saw blue and white from afar and I thought that was it. So here's the San Diego flight on its way to the left coast. But we'll divert, to use an airline term. We'll watch this British Airways flight coming in. And again, this is coming into the east side of the airport. Sometimes it comes over here because it has to come over here to the international terminal after it lands, but the flight controllers have decided we'll have it land on the east side today. So welcome, mates. United jet, which has kind of horned in on the action here. It's going to Denver, flight 2600. With the old livery. That's American Flight 2005 from Oklahoma City. Right here on Runway DFW, where it's 5:07 p.m., 17:07 on the 24-hour clock. Some more flights lining up now. American Flight 1060 to Austin. That American Eagle Flight 3171 coming in from Loreto in Mexico. This is the flight to Austin. Yikes. Okay, well here's the highlight of our show today. And thank you, Donnie Palmer, for alerting us to this. It was right in front of me, but I was looking elsewhere. This is the Antonov An-124, this behemoth of an aircraft. I've not seen this in person before. So this is a treat for me, and I hope for you too. Not a plane we see too much of in these parts. There's not too many of them, frankly. This one is headed to Guadalajara in Mexico. Hopefully we'll get to see this blast off from this side of the airport. Look at those wheels. Wow. About to make a big U-turn here. Meanwhile, other planes are coming and going, but yikes, I didn't expect to see this today. Big welcome to everybody who's just joining us on Runway DFW. You're looking at an Antonov An-124 super jumbo cargo jet about to lift off from DFW Airport on its way to Guadalajara, Mexico. Wants to get its picture taken, doesn't it? Almost didn't come out here today because I thought, it's kind of late in the afternoon, maybe there won't be a lot to see. I guess I was wrong. second you'll get to see a size comparison between this behemoth and an A320 American Airlines plane, which is pulling up to the end of runway 18 left. There it is. That thing could swallow it up. The last time this plane, or a plane like this, I don't know if it was the same plane, had visited DFW, I think was on Christmas Eve. Don't hold me to that, but I haven't seen any instances of it since then. Plane spotter there, enjoying the view. Say is, considering how big that plane is, it sure didn't take very long to get off the ground. So happy we were able to share that with you. But as unusual as that plane is, and as unique as it is, I guess I'd still rather see a 747 take off. It's just me. I mean, I'm glad I saw it. Maybe we'll see it again someday. It's really a lot more unusual than any of the Boeing or Airbus planes we normally see coming and going from here. That's the Antonov An-124, headed to Guadalajara. clear sky today. We could look at that forever, I guess. Delta jet lined up here. It's going to Minneapolis. Is that where it's going? Oh, this one's going to Salt Lake City. Delta does, of course, fly to Atlanta from here, but we normally don't see those flights take off from this side of the airport. They take off from the east side, typically. Delta Flight 2474 on its way to Salt Lake. And now we have an American Eagle flight. This one's destined for Oklahoma City. And Embraer 175, Flight 3771. So we've been on the air for about 45 minutes, almost. I don't think I've asked if you will like and subscribe to our little channel here, but if you haven't yet, I hope you will take the opportunity to think about it. And that Delta Flight 1666 is coming in from Salt Lake City. What are the odds? Got them coming both ways here on Runway DFW on this Saturday, February 5th, 2022. Here's the flight going out to Oak City. And we're already kind of getting the glow of the late afternoon sun here. Coming in from San Francisco now. It's American Flight 2798. A 737-800. Oh man, we're going to get a double play as far as Super Jumbos today. And this will be the second time we've seen this aircraft. And I'm talking about the Cargolux Not Without My Mask livery 747, which is somewhere over in that direction. We should be seeing it peeking out shortly. And it's gonna go out to Chicago. And I think we saw this a week ago or 2 weeks, I can't remember. But it's the Cargolux 747 with a blue mask painted on the front of its nose. Kind of whimsical. And it should be coming out from there. I've seen it several other times on other airport channels. And again, we saw it here for the first time. We saw it here for the first time recently. Well, we'll keep our eye out for that, as we've got an American Eagle flight coming in from Blau in Mexico. Hook our heads over here. We've got, I always like to check out the MD-11s that UPS has a fleet of, and this is one of them. Don't know if we'll see this going out today. Looks like it's all closed up. But UPS flies a number of these in and out of here, along with FedEx, which also runs MD-11s and also has a fleet of DC-10s, the earlier variant of that plane, some of which are more than 40 years old. That's American Flight 2082. We'll be headed to El Paso. And coming in on top of it momentarily, we'll be seeing American Flight 2046 coming in from Los Cabos on Runway DFW. Here comes the flight from Los Cabos. To the aircraft headed to El Paso, Flight 2082. No sign of the Cargolux yet. We've got American Flight 417, which is an A321 coming in from Phoenix now. Thank you everyone for joining us on our little club here today at Runway DFW.
Ramp on the 65 on the bridge, American 47.
American Eagle flight was headed for Colorado Springs. But there might be one or two slope aficionados on that plane. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to point the camera right here where the Cargolux should be coming out shortly. I'm going to run back to the official Runway DFW vehicle and get me some gloves. So hang in there and we'll be back in just a little bit. Alright everyone, well there it is, the Cargolux, not without my mask livery, 747. So it's cargo day here at Runway DFW. My little scanner was beeping at me. It says, I need batteries. Queen of the skies. A bemasked Queen of the skies. The only one to my knowledge. way. I was trying to find a better place to put my microphone. It was kind of banging against things, and I'm sure that wasn't very pleasant to listen to. So I just shut up for a while. As it did last time we were here, the Queen starts, I guess you would call from the, what do they call it in golf, the ladies' tee? Most of the other planes take off from several hundred yards north of here, but it just makes that turn and just goes right up in the sky. It's a 2-mile long runway, so shouldn't be a problem. Goes off to Chicago O'Hare. But it's going south right now, so it's got to kind of make a big turn to go north. The extent to which our little camera can zoom. So if you've been with us and you saw the Antonov 124 take off and you saw this takeoff, which do you like better? I don't know, something about the 747 that just says that's the one. So farewell. Have a safe trip to Chicago. What have we now for you here at Runway DFW? I show on the radar a plane that looks like it's lining up to take off, but I don't see it with my eyes. Could just be my eyes. Lisa F. agrees with the 747. Mac Cat Lady also on board with the Queen of the Skies. Breezy wants to know what kind of camera do I use. I'll let you know in a second. I can't remember the model number unless I look at it. How's your picture? Are you getting a picture that looks a little low frame rate, I guess you would call it? Because I'm looking at what I'm sending out and it looks like it's not good. Yes, I see Wheel in a Chair saying losing the stream. Huh. Well, let me think of what I can do here. Maybe I'll just reconnect. How's that? Does that make sense? So what I'll do is I'll set the camera down right there. Take that comment off. It is choppy, I know that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect. Ooh, what's happening here? Oh no. There's so many cables and I never plugged in my computer cable. I mean my power cable to my computer, and it's getting ready to shut down here. So I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to put up a slide here while we disconnect from here. So you should still stay on the air. So just bear with us. We apologize for this delay. I'll turn that camera. Well, I don't know if this is going to be any better or not. We'll find out pretty soon. As soon as we start moving the camera around, if it looks... Ooh, that doesn't look good. Yes, we are having technical difficulties. It is very choppy. That is not going to work. Unless you want a series of still pictures, which I don't think any of you do. Yeah, that's definitely not working. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, what I didn't work, so I'm going to try to shut down my computer entirely and boot it up again. That's going to take a couple minutes. So we'll see if we can get that done before the sun goes down here. So if you got a minute, go get some popcorn or make a cup of coffee or something, and we'll come back to you no matter what, even if we are still choppy. We'll try it again in just a minute here on Runway DFW. So hang in there with us, and we appreciate your help. We appreciate your patronage. So we'll be back in just a bit. Well, if you can hear me, let's see. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, I don't know if you can. This is I'm sending you this picture through my phone. My computer has stopped working. So I guess that's going to be it for today's broadcast of Runway DFW. Thank you for hanging in there with us. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We hope to be doing better next time. But I think we saw some good stuff, and yeah, we'll be back at it again, hopefully sometime later this week. So thank you very much for joining us for this edition of Runway DFW. My name is Walt. Thank you very much. And as we always say, happy contrails to you until we meet again. Thanks again. Bye.